Hey guys, this is Percy Conley with CalCity.ca. I just bought my wife an Electra Cruiser bike. I got some fenders that they just say for cruiser. I also bought some fenders that say for Townie, and I'll show you what the difference is. And got her a pink little basket. I mean, the bike isn't that girly, but the basket is. I'll just talk real quickly about the Townie versus the regular fender. The regular cruiser fender, when you line them up, they got the two dimples here. It's quite a bit wider, even though the length is fairly close. So this is the front one. And this is the other front one for the Townie. Don't quite, and the width is quite a bit different. The cruiser fender is 3.5 inches wide, and the Townie fender is only 2.5 inches wide. So that's a big difference on those, the front fenders. On the rear fender, the mounting holes where the, I'm not even sure if you can see through the plastic, but I don't want to unwrap them. The Townie holes, if you line up the bottoms and you look at the mounting for the seat stay, this one doesn't fit at all. So it lines up on the hole here, but it doesn't line up in the bottom, and the fender itself is way too tight to the tire. And this one here, perfect fit. So we'll install these right now. So this is the fender for the men's bike, and if we're lining up where the gap is for the chain and where the bottom bolt goes in, these actually don't quite line up. They line up way better than the Townie bike, but for this one I think it's just as simple as drilling my own hole once I get it kind of roughed in where I want it. Because if we look right now, this hangs down a bit too low. That's lined up to where it should be. This hole here doesn't line up. So I think that's for the men's bike. Might have a taller seat stay. So I think for look, I'll use this hole and drill a new one down at the bottom. But I have to clear the chain guard, so maybe I will just drill a new hole up here. Might have to take off the wheel to get this installed though. Maybe let's start off with the front one. Here's just a quick overlay photo. Green bike is the girls and brown is the men's. I just grabbed them off the Trek website and overlaid them, and it definitely shows that the girls' bike seat is lower, so there is a lower hole, about 1/2 inch. I have a little arrow which shows the difference where the seat is, but where the tire is, it's about 1/2 inch, but about 2 inches at the seat. Yeah, so it looks like I'm going to just drill another hole here. One hole in the back isn't going to make a difference. I'll probably figure a way to cover it with something. What's really cool about the hardware is it's actually got Allen keys, like Allen bolts, and they're stainless steel, and the prop shafts look like they're stainless as well, so I don't think they're actually going to be rusty in any kind of way. So the same bolts that they use for the chain guard is the same ones that we're going to see on the fenders. So right off in the kit, we have two of the prop shafts that are props are longer, and two of them are shorter. So my assumption is probably the ones on the front might be shorter, but I'll just mock them up and see what ones fit better. Looking at it now, it looks like the back ones from mounting here up to there might be the shorter ones. Yeah, it looks like the shorter ones do go on the back. Doesn't come with any instructions, but there is an assortment of bolts. There's a long one, a bunch of shorter ones, and some shorter ones without washers. These ones, I think, are the ones that would bolt down at the bottom of these stands. These ones would bolt the fender through the top of the fender with the washers onto the prop stands. So I'll try them out and see which ones fit best. What's really nice is that they're actually threaded bosses into the fender, so it goes on super easy as far as the nuts on the back go. So what I'll do is it still adjusts. I'll have to flip it upside down so I can line it up where it needs to be and then drill the holes. But pretty simple so far. Okay, on the front fender, we actually have a long bolt that goes in through the fork. I'll put the nice looking part out the front and then put the other nut on the back. But in the meantime, I'll have to mount the hardware for the prop stands, and then I'll do that. So I just undid the coaster brake arm, and I'm just undoing the wheel now. Just be careful when you take off the chain. It's probably going to be greasy. Just kind of set it kind of nicely off to the side when you pull the wheel out. So when we get down here, this is where it bolts down. Come on, focus. It'll bolt in here quite easily, but the hole down here doesn't quite line up. So I'm gonna mark where the hole goes here onto that tape. If I press that from this side, I should be able to mark where the hole goes, and then line this up, and then I just have an extra kind of hole to deal with. Because I do want this recessed part to clear the chain guard and stuff. I don't want to hear that rattling around, so I'm just going to mock it up a little bit and see what I come up with. So I just did up the top bolt, or it's the bottom bolt here, and then kind of lined up where, come on, focus, you think. Where the bolt hole is going to go, so I kind of just dented the fender, or pushed the fender forward. So it's only about a ½ an inch higher or to the front of the bike from where the other hole is. So I'm just going to take off the fender and drill that out. So I just drilled the second hole here. A camera actually was turned off. This top hole is for where the men's bike needs to be, and this is where the women's bike needs to be. So I just kind of gave it a little massage, but that will line up exactly where I need it to go. I'm just adjusting the fender so it's got the right spacing off of the tire. That's it, it's done. I'm just going to flip it over.